Hello, my name is Nicholas Boone, and I am here to talk to you about Untitled most important concept, conditioning and adaptation. On this slide, we're going to talk about how it all started. You see, me, I'm a fighting game player. I've been a fighting game player for years, right? But my favorite fighting game of all time is Untitled. It taught me all about fighting games and commentary, right? So why not do a whole project on it about the stuff I love? And the character I play is really depending on having the conditioning and adaptation. So I needed to showcase why is this important to everyone else within the world. Let's talk about something important. What is okizeme? Okizeme is a Japanese term because most fighting games are made in Japan and dominant in Japan. It means wake up offense. Now you might think, oh man, I'm gonna wake up and press a button. Not really. Actually, there's no turn. There's no chance you're ever going to play the game. When you're waking up into okizeme, you are automatically getting hit by something. And it's not a fun time. So set play characters really rely on this and use this all the time to make sure that characters can't escape or, in any case, condition or be adapted. But they can't adapt. So let's talk about the authors that led me here, right? In fighting games, RPS is a very important game. Rock, paper, scissors, right? I choose an option, you choose an option, whoever wins. Well, once again, there's many documents on this. Rock, paper, scissors is showcased in a lot of things in life, showcasing patterns and how people think and why people think in a certain way. And that also showcased within conditioning and adaptation, because if I keep on going rock, you're gonna notice I keep on going rock and eventually go paper, right? That's what Alex and James and a little bit of Glenn Fisher also figured out. They figured out that if people like doing rock a lot of times, people are going to start catching on and start doing something different, right? Now, with Jared Lee on the bottom here, this is actually someone that I finally found that actually loves fighting games, right? He's a popular YouTuber, also made some papers of his own. And overall, thinking fast and thinking slow is very important into the mindset of how am I going to adapt from this situation. If I'm thinking too fast, I'm not going to be able to adapt correctly and I'm going to get punished for it. So let's talk about my research question. I mean, you guys haven't heard that one yet, right? The psychology behind the Hadouken is a good research question, right? Everyone knows about the Hadouken. Street Fighter is the most popular fighting game of all time. But that's not something important to me, right? I chose that because I like fighting games, right? But I want to choose my favorite fighting game and why I love it. Untitled is by far the greatest. And showcasing through set play characters, the obvious character I play, how people's decisions matter to, and showcasing conditioning and adaptation is just like something I do all the time, right? So talking to friends and doing this project was kind of the same thing to me. Now, here comes my guy. There is not a single person I have found, not a single scholar, to actually showcase why conditioning and adaptation is showcased in fighting games, especially Untitled. I am the only person that I've seen do that. With that, I've also done my own research study and using a trend study of pro players and how they use the same setup, I was able to find all the evidence I really needed for this whole project. So I feel like I'm completely different from every single scholar you would see. Now, let's talk about the methods I use. I mean, I alluded to it. I have done a whole research project on my trend study and observational study. The trend study is the pro players play. I'm watching all their games and noting down each decision that the opponent has made. We'll talk about what that means in a second. For the observational study, that's me playing 20 different individuals at a tournament and making sure to take videos so I can note down every single time I've hit with the same setup. With that, I've come back into thinking of how does this all relate to my research question? Well, I'm over here trying to find out conditioning and adaptation within fighting games. And the only way I can do that is showcasing you through fighting games, right? So playing it and watching it is all I can really do. And showing it at a top level play and a mid level play showcase how it can be changed within each level of play. Now, here's my hypothesis. There's one important thing that we need to talk about. Now, within my study, there's going to be me saying positive decision making and negative decision making. What does that mean? Where is that coming from? When I do this specific setup right here, it is impossible for someone to escape without them making a decision. If they don't make a decision, they're going to be in negative decision making. That's what's going to happen. If they get hit by me, which is me, or if they cannot escape the situation, negative decision making. But, as you see, there's gaps on where they could escape on both. If they're able to accurately get out of the situation, either hitting me, escaping the massive amount of webs, or doing something to get out of there, I don't know how they would, then that is positive decision making. With this, I split up into two different groups for my observational study. The control group, which is the group I'm going to be just playing normally against, and my test group where I'm going to keep on repeating the same option, which is run and grab. And I believe that the expected outcome is going to be the test group is going to have a better positive decision-making score because they're conditioned to believe that this one thing's going to happen. I'm always going to do make-up grab, run and grab. And when that happens, they're going to do something that's going to be either EP or match. And the control group is not going to be able to do it because they're going to be mixed a large amount of options, which makes it hard for them to escape. Method begins. Ooh, fun. My data issue. So I needed to record this whole thing, right? I mean, I wouldn't be able to remember every single time I hit someone. Hit people a lot. So with that, I needed to record a video. But I needed the players to do this, right? I can't just play against the computer. It's not gonna be fun. It's not gonna be good research. So I decided that I needed to go to my local tournaments and find people who are gonna be willing to play that also has an ample amount of time within the game. Thus meaning I also needed a Google form to showcase, oh, how much time have I played in this game? You know, I'm not just gonna randomly ask you can give me anything. With that, then that also means I'm gonna need a Google Sheets because I'm gonna need to record it everywhere. So that all comes together, showcasing another video of Bianchi over there. Ooh. My procedure. Now this is actual pictures at the tournament. We have the setups and just overall how it looks within there. So the first things first, I walk up to someone, hi, hello, hey, do you want to play some games? I take out my phone, I'm like, can I send you this link? I also give them the IRB form so they can sign that out themselves. With that, within the form, I ask, hey, can I play some games again? Just don't want to be too up there. What character they play, how much time do they have in the game, and a random question that is like one or two. Choose either one and that's which group you're going to be put into, test group or control group. Luckily, I was kind of even. So with that, I was able to split them up into two different groups, play them in games. It was a set of 2 games, which is 2 for a round and then 2 games. And with that, record the videos, put into all one big folder, and check off each one. Now we're going to go on to why is this all valid? How can you believe me, right? Well, I have 2 things. My trend study, which is just me going and watching videos and marking off, which is showcasing the top level of play. As I was talking about before, I'm only like a mid-level player, you know, I'm not that strong. So I can't tell you that this is 100% true. But if this is happening at pro level play, then that must mean that this is something that's actually important to fighting games. Well, also at mid-level, meaning it's not so important that most people don't understand it. This means that it's actually a mix of like why this is all important. Overall, the conditioning and adaptation of the game. Same thing goes for reliability, where my procedure actually goes by step of what I'm going to be doing and how exactly I'm going to be doing it. And each form was able to tell me exactly why or what character they're playing, so I get to know which object or which thing they're going to be choosing to get out of my stuff. This all combined with the amount of time that I get to see within the game is allowing me to see how good are they, you know, how much time do they have within the game. So these are my overall of the observational study. The test group, as you see, has done significantly better on the positive decision-making side than the control group. By significant, I mean 90% of the people who are on the test group were able to get a positive decision-making score. They were able to escape and do whatever with the game. Well, we go to the control group where like 70% of them were not able to escape. Hard to escape when you're getting mixed all the time. Now, within there, there's a bunch of different showcases of why or why not. Within the trend study, this is the pro level play. 90% of the pros who were fighting this, other pros, were not able to escape another pro Byakuya player's play. This means that while men getting mixed a lot by really good players is stronger. This is the beginning of the end, the conclusion. So as I was talking about with the results section, 90% of people on the test group, that has to mean that I'm correct with my hypothesis. That all the people within the test group were able to understand, okay, I'm repeating the same option over and over again, and with that, I'm able to do something to escape it. This also means that when you're repeating the same options within fighting games, it's not a good idea because everyone's able to just escape. While the 70% of people who were in the negative side had to deal with getting mixed all the time. It was not fun, huh? Staggering the difference between both the trend study and the control group kind of showcases how, 90% of the pro level plays, these are people who have experienced the entire game, have sat there and done hours and hours and hours. Why is Byakuya players able to open them up so much? It's hard. It's really, really hard to block when you're thinking about so many different options that can happen. You can't get conditioned, you can't adapt. This means that these two things must also be linked. But now let's talk about what limited me a lot within this. Now, limited time may be a very vast thing, but for me, it actually made a lot of sense. There's not a lot of under the in-birth players. I mean, it's a very small game. And to get a specific time and a specific tournament where a lot of people are going to come is pretty hard. I had to work with what I had and had to get at least 20 people, which was way more than I was expecting. So I was really happy with that. But I feel like if I waited for another time where a major was happening, I would have been able to get way more people. Players with limited experience with Byakuya. My character is a very niche character. They're good, but they're hard to use. So not a lot of people actually have good, valid experience with Byakuya. This could have influenced their decision making on, am I gonna get repeated options or are they just gonna keep on doing the same thing and mash out it in the same way? And that also means when I'm doing my test group, I'm just not really getting much from it, am I? Different characters have different options. So some characters have an invincible move called DP, which means I can't really run up and grab them up, while other characters don't have that. Thus meaning it makes it unfair to judge some characters while other characters kind of have to deal with that. But this, I don't feel like there's any sort of way without just capping only these sort of characters. And that would make the overall amount of people you're gonna have very, very limited, but I guess it makes it very valid. People have different levels of understanding of patterns and how to fight against it. Some people just really didn't understand the pattern. I mean, the one person on the test group really didn't understand that I'm gonna keep on repeating the same option, it's gonna keep on happening. So with that, that's another just personal thing, they have to hold that. Now, at the end of this may say the end of the game, but truthfully, there's something coming on in the future. I only talked about under and ender. I didn't even talk about real life or fighting games or other fighting games, right? You can take what I did here and apply it to anything else. You can apply it to rock, paper, scissors. You can apply it to walking your dog. You know, people use shock collars on dogs so they make sure to not run out onto the street so they understand. That's how this all came to be. That's conditioning and that's adaptation for the dog, right? All of this just combines into Byakuya being the best player. Thank you for listening to my presentation.
That's my brother.
So we have a couple questions for you.